Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the App Reel, where this week Josie and I will be discussing our Letterboxd top fours. I'm your host, Lanie Zajeka.
And I'm Josie Hallier.
We'll be right back with our main topic after this message.
The university will be hosting an Easter lunch on April 23rd at the St. Joseph Cafe at 12 p.m. Visit the university's event calendar to RSVP by March 31st. Today we will be discussing our Letterboxd top 4. And for those of you who don't know what Letterboxd is, it's essentially just an app that you can log all the movies you watch. And so these are basically like our top 4 films in the moment or of all time. For me personally, they're of all time. So Lainey, go ahead and tell me about your first movie.
So mine are also pretty much of all time. So my first movie kind of been like my favorite since childhood, and that is Pete's Dragon from 1977. Which if you watch it now, maybe it doesn't like hold up the best by today's standards. It's essentially about this abused orphan who has a dragon as his best friend, and only he can see the dragon. But it's one of my favorite movies. Very nostalgic for me. My dad showed me the movie when I was little, so I kind of like have that memory attached to it as well, and it's just been really special to me.
Well, that's awesome, Lainey. I don't think I have seen this film, but I would also agree that one of the movies, well, my first movie, I picked because my dad also showed me this movie and I love it. It's called Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and it stars Keanu Reeves as Ted and Alex Winter as Bill. And this movie is just about as like 80s comedy as you can get. It was made in 1989, and it's just about these two high school buddies who are just not the smartest, and they have this project to do, and they find their way traveling through history and bringing all these historical figures back to the present moment. And I just love this movie because it's so silly, and it's a great movie.
Bill and Ted is it's not my top four, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time as well. Of course, love Keanu Reeves so much. It's definitely also very nostalgic for me. Another movie that my dad kind of introduced me to. What are your thoughts on the sequels?
Listen, I have protected myself, and I have not watched the sequels because I've heard not great things, and so I just view it as its own movie. I have not watched the sequels. Have you?
I have. I would watch the second one. It's a really fun time. Not like the greatest movie, but it's a really fun movie. And then the third one, I can't remember. I think reviews were generally kind of mixed about it. I thought it was okay. I'd say like if you're gonna avoid sequels, like you don't have to watch the third one, but I would go back and watch the second one.
Well, I might just have to do that. All right, then let's move on to our second film. Lainey, go ahead.
So the second film on my top four is Dinner in America, which came out in 2020. So this is a movie that I think recently has kind of been picking up like some traction on social media because the song in the movie Watermelon has kind of been like trending. But this is a movie that gave me a feeling that like no other movie has. Um, it stars Emily Skeggs and Kyle Gallner, and I'm a huge fan of Kyle Gallner. He's probably one of my favorite actors. You've maybe seen him in like Smile or Jennifer's Body or Veronica Mars.
Wasn't he just in a Strange Darling?
Was he? I'm
I
not
think so,
sure.
because he's the guy in Smile. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was he was just in a movie called Strange Darling that I just watched. He's a great actor.
He is. So Dinner in America, basically, Emily Skaggs' character is really, really awkward and just kind of a weird girl. And she really loves this band. If I remember correctly, it's called Psyops. And Kyle Gallner's character is the lead singer of that band. And but the members of that band are all anonymous. So she meets him and she invites him to stay at her house because he's kind of on the run. And while there, he discovers that she has been the person that has been writing him letters and sending him explicit Polaroids for years. And yeah, from there, they kind of just fall in love. And it's really cute and really stupid and funny. And I really love that movie so much.
I'm not familiar with that movie, but I'll have to watch it because that sounds very interesting, something I would definitely be into. My second film is Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird, and this is just an absolute downer of a film, I think. The description Letterboxd gives is Lady Bird McPherson, a strong-willed, deeply opinionated, artistic 17-year-old, comes of age in Sacramento. Her relationship with her mother and her upbringing are questioned and tested as she plans to head off to college. So it's just like one of those coming of age films, but this one is just sticks out to me so much. It has Saoirse Ronan, Laurie Metcalf, Tracy Letts, and Timothy Chalamet is also in this movie. And I just don't really have a lot of words for it. I just really like the way this movie is. It's really beautiful. Saoirse Ronan is amazing in it. And I don't like the way the movie makes me feel, but it is in my top 4. So I really like that movie.
It is a great film.
All right. So number 3.
Moving on to our third films. My third is Peter Jackson's Meet the Feebles from 1989. I am a huge fan of Peter Jackson's early work, specifically. Don't really care about Lord of the Rings and all that, but his early films are so absurd and ridiculous, so hilarious. And Meet the Feebles, the best way to describe it is if the Muppets were on cocaine. It is a ridiculous film, very graphic and explicit, and it's so ridiculous, so funny. I find myself constantly rewatching it, just putting it on all the time. And yeah, I don't know how to get too much into the details because it's a very dirty movie, but it's so funny and I love it.
I'm not familiar with this movie at all, but I think I'll have to give it a watch just based on the poster for this movie. Very interesting. My third movie is 10 Things I Hate About You. This is starring Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, and this is just the rom-com of all time. I absolutely love this movie. Heath Ledger, what a great actor, gone too soon. Julia Stiles does a great job at playing Kat Stratford. For those of you who don't know, on the first day at his new school, Cameron instantly falls for Bianca, the gorgeous girl of his dreams. The only problem is that Bianca is forbidden to date until her ill-tempered, completely undateable older sister, Kat, goes out too. And so to try to solve that, Cameron gets the bad boy of the school, I guess, Heath Ledger's character, Patrick, and has him try to date Kat Stratford. And it's just a great rom-com. If you haven't seen this, I don't know what you're doing. So
I actually have not seen it.
No, lady, you're killing me.
I'm not a rom-com girly.
That's all right. I'm not really either, but one day I just decided to sit down and watch this, and I was like, damn, that's a great movie. So
I honestly should watch it because I feel like that's one of the movies that you see a lot, when you're scrolling Instagram and you see some random edit.
Yeah.
It's always from that movie.
And honestly, it's not like rom-com, it's rom-com, aw. If that makes any sense. All right, let's go to our fourth and final films.
So last but not least on my list is To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. So this movie is from 1995. This is a recent addition to my Letterboxd top 4. Previously, I had the French horror film Martyrs in that spot. But then I was reminded recently just of how much I love To Wong Foo. And my selling point always on this movie is that it's just Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo in drag for the whole entire film. And this film is so much queer joy. So Patrick Swayze and Wesley Snipes are kind of like the elder drag queens who take in John Leguizamo, who is a fledgling drag queen, kind of still struggling. And they go through on this whole journey, this road trip, because they are going to the nationals of a drag competition. And along the way, Patrick Swayze's character accidentally kills a policeman, or so she thinks. So the policeman starts coming after them, and their car breaks down, and they hide out for a while in this really small town. And it's a really like heartwarming film of acceptance. The way that everybody in that town kind of takes them in and stands up for them, and the way that they form friendships with each other and unexpected friendships and relationships with the people of the town.
That sounds a really good movie. Patrick Swayze and Drag. I will have to put that on my watch list for sure. And for me, my fourth and final film is none other than Stand By Me. You haven't seen Stand By Me?
Stand By Me.
Okay, you love it. Yes, Stand By Me makes me cry every time. The final line that the character writes, just makes me want to scratch my eyeballs out, to be honest. For those of you who don't know, it's just this group of four boys who go on an adventure to see a dead body. But it's so much more than that. To be cheesy, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey and the friends you make along the way. A character I really want to talk about is River Phoenix's Chris Chambers. River Phoenix, though, he's very young in this movie, and you can just tell what a standout actor he is. He's only like 12 or something, but it's almost like it's amazing. He should have been nominated for something. That movie is great, and I love anything Stephen King.
I think that film was kind of the breakout role for the majority of the main cast of the four boys: Jerry O'Connell, Will Wheaton, Corey Feldman, and like you said, River Phoenix.
Right.
Except for maybe Corey Feldman. He's been in so many stuff as a child. But I love that movie. Another one that my dad introduced me to when I was younger, and definitely has like a special place in my heart because of like the time period of my life when I was like starting to watch movies more and getting introduced to all these like kind of older films from around that time with like that very specific vibe that a movie like Stand By Me has.
Yeah.
And it is such an amazing film.
It's a movie. That is a movie, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the specific movie feel of a movie isn't talked about enough, which that sounds like so stupid to say, but
I'm on the same wavelength as you. I understand. It's a movie.
there's certain films that just feel a certain way. JCOM will be hosting the Home Run Derby on March 27th with the Honors Club and will be giving out Royals tickets to the first place winner along with some other special prizes. So be sure to check out JCOM's social media for more information.
That wraps up this episode of The App Reel. Join us for our next episode where we will be discussing our favorite horror films.